Good morning. You're tuned in with the Encourage Services Show. I am your host, Encouragement Javi. This morning, our episode is called Creating Peace Around You. We're going to be talking about how you can begin to create peace around you through relationship building, through creating a mission statement, and creating more positive space in your life versus negative, so that you can begin to get around the people that you would like to get around and attract the type of people in your life that you need to encourage you and love you as you're getting through whatever issues it is within your life. I am going to give you a chance to get a piece of pencil and paper or a journal to write in if you all have been keeping up with journaling, or if you just would like to take notes. So while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what we're about. Those of you who usually tune in with us already know, but for those who don't, encouragement services is about helping people who are in a crisis to be able to manage their crisis. A lot of people use our services who have high levels of stress, to those who just need a boost of encouragement, to those who have little or no family support, and we act as an encouragement buddy system to encourage those people, whether it's through phone with meditation, or whether it's through phone with self-talk, emails, encouraging letters. We do online classes, walking you through the steps of forgiveness, through dealing with how to set up a mission statement, and also anyone is welcome to use the services. All the services are free of charge. We have an international number where anyone from any country is welcome to use our international number, as well as the United States. Our number is 1-866-524-4828, extension 2836. The number again is 1-866-524-4828, extension 2836. Encouragement services started in 2006. Our encouragement services is a little different. Although we do encourage, which can last anywhere from 3 months to 24 months, because we have 6 different levels of encouragement. If you would like that information, we can send it to you through email, fax, or mail it to you if you just give us a call, or if you email us at services@encouragementinthetrauma.org, or our website is encouragementinthetrauma.org, our main website, and you will spell it out at services at encouragementinthetrauma.org, services at encouragementinthetrauma.org, or encouragementinthetrauma.org is our website, and you can always call us as well. As I was saying, our services is a little different in the fact that we do encourage you to forgive and to start taking and creating responsibility for your own life, learning to accept yourself and forgiving yourself for whatever things you've done, because love starts with you. You want to love yourself first so that you'll be able to give and share others the love that you have. And it all starts with you, because if you hate you and you're not getting along with you, it's going to be difficult getting along with other people. So that is how our service is different. Once a month, we usually send out we call it an encouraging month. We go about 3 month segments from January through April, we work on steps of forgiveness, what negative spaces can take up, such as bitterness, not having self-control, things like of that nature, and what's the opposite. Say, for example, the opposite of unforgiveness, which is one that I had named a few minutes ago. The opposite of unforgiveness is forgiveness, and we work on how you can choose to have the more positive space in your life versus the more negative space in your life. And once April ends, we'll go through from maybe April the 21st through June the 21st, or if we choose to start in May, we'll go through July, and we'll still work on what we would call negative space, positive spaces. Sometimes we call it sins of the heart. But instead of working with the first 5 or 6 that we had from January through April, we might work with another 5 to 10 different more, such as maybe pride or arrogancy, something to that nature. Because sometimes when people have a lot of traumatic stress in their life, that we tend to create bitterness and other chaos in our heart that can be preventing us to forgive. So that is why our service is a little different, and we encourage you to do this. So if you're interested in signing up or want to know more about it, we have PowerPoints and a Microsoft Word document regarding this information, with creating your own mission statement and steps to forgiveness. So please give us a call or email us or send us a fax, and we would be certainly glad to send you that information. Now we're going to get right along into the show here. I am Encouragement Javi, your host. We usually come on once every Friday, but when we do 3 or 4 shows back to back, we might come on once every 2 weeks or maybe once a month. And a couple of weeks ago, we did about 6 shows, either twice a day or every day for like 4 or 5 days. So that's why you haven't seen us. I'm not real sure when we're going to do the next show. If we don't do any more this week, it will be next Friday. However, if we do 2 to 4 more, you might not hear us come on air live until another 2 to 4 weeks later, because we're just trying to find a way to create a balance where we're able to work around our schedule and put fresh podcasts on. And we do want to say thank you to our followers, and if you have not gotten a chance, please visit us at facebook.com/encouragement services. That's facebook.com/encouragement services. And if you find that you like it, what we have to offer there, please like our page. If you're wanting to know more into detail about us, if you go to facebook.com/encouragement services/info, you will be able to find that as well. This morning we're speaking about creating peace around you. So there are some steps you want to take, and we're going to give you 3 steps this morning that you can take. Maybe 4 or 5, but I was more contemplating on 3. So if you're taking notes, if you want to create space around you, everything first start with what's in your heart, because what's in your heart will lead you to let the issues that's going on in your house speak out of your mouth. In other words, what's going on in your heart, people tend to speak out of their mouth. Not only do they think it, they will speak it. It will eventually come out. So if hatred is in you, it eventually will come out. We can all have hatred and discord and strife in us, and a little bit of confusion. Maybe we don't understand what's going on, things of that nature, especially when our levels are high with stress. But one thing you don't want to happen is to let it eat you up. In other words, to allow it to control you with the negative space. So the first step you want to do is what I call step 1. What type of space are you creating in your life? You want to write that down. What type of space am I creating in my life? And then answer it. You can choose to answer it after the episode, or you can choose to answer it now. And then you want to say, write down, are you creating positive space or negative space in your heart? Now, getting to the positive and negative space. This evolves around a mission statement for your life that you want. So, some of the types of negative space in your life is unforgiveness, bitterness, hatred, unresolved issues, and uncontrollable anger. Now, what you may want to do is write down what negative space that you are creating in your heart. This is why I call it sins of the heart. But you can call it, if you prefer, bad choices of the heart. Or I don't really want to say bad decisions of the heart, because we still have a choice in the matter. Sometimes we might not realize it if we're just so quick to respond versus being proactive and thinking about how we respond. A lot of times we're reactive when it comes to sins of the heart. So one thing that I would put down is, with negative spaces, one thing that we're going to be talking about next month is it could be confusion, it could be, I had just named a few, discord, strife, because the opposite of discord is working in unity. The opposite of unforgiveness, a positive space, is forgiving oneself. The opposite of bitterness is accepting yourself. The opposite of hatred is love, but also unresolved issues dealt with. And when you start creating love, you'll find out that you'll have your unresolved issues. You'll start dealing with them when they're within your heart and within your mind. The opposite of unresolved issues is creating calmness and a greater awareness in your life. Uncontrollable anger is maintaining self-control. So, if you're dealing with something and it's a negative space, what you want to do is think of what is it the opposite of, so that you can begin to create that positive aspect of it. And what you do, how you create that positive aspect of it, let's take discord, for example. If you know you have discord in your heart, it could have come from maybe you went through a bad divorce, or you just got out of a bad relationship with a family, or with it was more personal level, and perhaps you created a lot of discord. Sometimes people create discord where they're so angry and bitter, they just want to hurt the person, and so they start creating chaos in the person's life. But then sometimes they don't realize that they've created discord in their heart and their life. Or it could be that maybe they grew up around a lot of discord, and as a result, it's a lot of miscommunication and misunderstanding in their heart, and you don't want that in there. You want to be able to work on it and get it out so that you can move forward in unity. So the first thing you have to do is acknowledge whatever unhealthy habits you've been participating in. And an unhealthy habit would be a negative stressor. It could be choosing to have bitterness. It could be, once you choose to have this bitterness or discord, that you participate in unhealthy eating. I'm not saying that you have it, it's just an example that I'm giving. And sometimes, we can have these negative stressors that come from some people when they've had bad things to happen to them, when they've gone through some type of traumatic event or something like that. They might have a bad memory, or hatred toward others that they don't agree with, or the person that maybe caused them that problem, especially after a divorce. And sometimes that can result to inward anger or bitterness that can cause us to become indecisive, to have controlling or aggressive demanding behavior, and sometimes we get so used to it that we don't realize that. So now that you see what the bitterness and other negative spaces is creating, if you want to create something positive, you can write down for yourself, how can I draw more positive things to me? The first thing you do is acknowledge it. You can acknowledge it to yourself. And if you are a person that pray, you can pray. You acknowledge it, and then you want to pray about it and ask that you be helped with the problem that you have, that you will have wisdom and understanding, and your eyes will be enlightened when it comes to what triggers you to act that way, especially if you're acting that way and you gotten so used to it and you don't know it. And as you begin to do that, you'll begin to see the next thing you'll begin to do is create what you want. But it's hard work. When I say create what you want, if it's been a lot of discord in your heart and you're trying to create unity, oneness, and that's simply trying to understand people, one accord. It doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but you're trying to understand their point of view, where they're coming from. You won't be as judgmental, and you'll be more open-hearted and open-minded, and it'll be easier for your family to come together in oneness, because sometimes when we have different discord about things, we might not realize that it even affects our children, and they might not say anything, because we want to be able to work together in peace in our homes and in calmness. And if you want to create that peace and calmness, it comes through trying to have unity in your home and to prevent the discord. And as you're doing this, you want to do things that help you create more calmness so that you can take better care of yourself mentally and emotionally. So creating peace around you will require you to meditate. If you're not one who are used to meditating, you may want to just give it a try. Maybe get a beginner's meditation going. Some people start off and just sit and they close their eyes and they might count to 10. And I've heard that some people have said that that helps them a great deal more so than what they would normally do, where they just go off the handle or get really angry. But really, meditation, where it's non-religious, it's a very good tool. If it's music that's low, or if it's just someone speaking, guiding you, that's real calm, it can be a great tool for you to bring a greater awareness of peace around you and to calm down your mind, because we have a lot of thoughts rushing and going through our mind, and it can help you a great deal. As well, another tool you might want to use to create more peace inwardly is thinking on one thing at a time and doing one thing at a time. Because if you're one where you feel like your head is rushing with all these thoughts because you're constantly busy and you haven't learned how to control your thoughts, that would be a good stepping stool to take. Also, reading some books would be a good idea, whether it's about parenting, if you're one who loves to read books about parenting. If you're one who loves gardening, maybe you can choose to read books about that. But also, I was going to get back to meditation. If you look for anything on, if you're one who shop online about color meditation, if you do a Google search about color meditation, what that is sometimes I have a specific DVD called Tantra Toning. I also have a video with it where it's color meditation. And once we get to that step from the Pilates exercising to color meditation, she has these bright colors. I can't remember which one she started off with, but the yellow color is supposed to be like the color of the kidney or liver. I could be saying the color wrong. And she talks about how certain kidneys or organs can bring it. Excuse me. She talks about how grief can be the opposite of something else, and you will see the color as you're sitting there or as you're laying down, and it really helps you reflect, which could be a great source and tool, because everybody responds differently to things. Another video I use also is not Tantra Tony, I just told you that. It's Maritza. It's called The Beginner's Meditation. Her name is Maritza. Miritza. It's a non-religious meditation, and if you're one who keep your eyes open through the meditation, it has shows different streams of waters and rivers and trees, and it might actually just do wonders for you. It can relax the body. Also, Tai Chi and Qigong is really good for you, where you're able to do different poses of Pilates, Tai Chi, Qigong, and other yoga, and it really helps the nervous system. It opens it up. So that's just something I wanted to throw out to you if you're one trying to create more peace around you. Also, another thing you may want to do is look at who's talking to you. In other words, who you have around you, especially in your close circle. I'm not saying get rid of everybody, because you have to work with people, things like that, but I mean people who are in your close circle. For example, if you have family and the majority of them are really, really negative, say if you're trying to eat healthy and you're trying to be on a budget as you're eating healthy, or maybe you're on a budget by spending your money, or whatever it is that you're trying to do, and you have some really negative family members in your life, you may want to consider keeping them distant and having people around you who encourage you more, who are uplifting you, not people who are gonna downtrodden you down, because you don't need that in your life. You want to keep peace going and flowing like waters, a river. So you have to be very careful about who you share your secrets with and let in on your inner circle, because some people can be very controlling and manipulating, and you want people in your life, especially in your closer inner circle, who are going to encourage you and love you, but also when you're wrong, if you all are close enough and you wouldn't mind them sharing that with you, they could tell you what it is that you need to work on or that you need to do to better yourself. You want people that's going to help you and encourage you and to help you get to the level you're trying to get. And when I say that, I mean emotionally and mentally. But you got to keep in mind, it's not up to them to do the work. You have to do the work and apply it to yourself, to your life, the results that you want. And that's how you start creating peace around you. And if you run into those people that are negative, or you have to talk to them in your family or at work or wherever they may be, you want to begin to become proactive and be a peacemaker even if they choose not to have peace with you, because it's about creating a calmness and a peaceful awareness around you, so you won't have negative energy stored up in your heart or your mind that you have to shake off at the end of the day or the middle of the day. And sometimes praying through the day also helps. You could, maybe if you're at work, you can pray underneath your voice, where people cannot hear you. That will help. Now okay, now we want to do the second step. The second step is every morning and night, whichever one you choose, or you can do both. I know some clients that do both. Before you start your day or as you're ending your night, you want to think about how unforgiveness, anger, bitterness can create discord, strife, and revengefulness in your life. And you want to see, is that what I want in my life? Do I really want that? And if you know you don't want that, then you have to decide, well, I'm going to choose better for me. What do I want? And there's step 3. Writing your journal or thinking about whom you hate or what in your life is causing confusion, revengefulness, and strife. Begin on a chart or a paper that you create how you can start loving yourself more. Because after all, really, this whole creating peace in your life is about you. It's not about the other person and what they've done. We're not going to deny that if they did do something that they didn't, but you want to be able to go on with your life because they've gone on with theirs, and you don't want to be stuck anymore. So some ways that you can start creating more peace in your life is by loving yourself. So if you're writing, you might want to write down, I can create positive space in my heart and life. And I realize that creating positive space in my heart and life is a change and a commitment to myself. So stay committed to yourself that I'm going to do this positive change. This is what I'm going to do for me. And deciding to open up your heart for a newness of change to take place in your life. And you want to recognize if you have a problem with unhealthy eating, whatever unhealthy problem it is that's going on in your heart, whether it's being indecisive, whether it's maybe handling stress the wrong way, that can cause build up in your life, and how you respond to others, whatever it is. Everybody have different things that they're dealing with. These are just some that I written down from the clients that I had helped before that they've had issues with it. I just threw some out there and written them on my PowerPoint because I've gotten them from different clients we were working on these issues with them during our meditation, or whether it was during our classes or our chats. And also, as you're loving yourself, you want to give yourself a hug. You want to begin to forgive yourself. You want to say maybe some good positive things to yourself, such as, I am beautiful. Whether you believe it or not, I am beautiful. I look adoring. I forgive myself. And if you could say this every day, maybe 3 times a day, whether it's 3 times in the morning or once morning, evening, night, or 3 times a night before you go to bed, you're going to start believing it, and you therefore will start attracting better things to yourself. But you want to remember, you have to do more than just say it. Although that helps, you want to apply some things to your life and do it. We also have a great podcast on creating everlasting peace in your life. So if you're interested, if you go to Spreaker.com/user/encouragement, you'll be able to find the podcast Creating Everlasting Peace in Your Life. And that website again is Spreaker.com/user/encouragement. Now, the steps you need to take in order to recognize the negative space in your life is: step 1, Look in your own heart and see what negative space you have created in your life. Step 2. Be open-hearted and acknowledge to yourself what negative space you have allowed in your life. And step 3, you want to be open to change and learn to create positive space in your heart and life. And then you want to go to step 4. As you begin to change and you're trying to create more positive space in your life and inner peace in your life, if you realize you've hurt someone and created bitterness and discord and things in their life that they're probably dealing with or once did deal with, if it's safe, because it's not always safe, whether you write them or whether it's through an email or whether it's through a call or just seeing them in person, if it's safe and that person don't mind speaking with you, you might want to apologize to them, because if we done something wrong to someone, that would be a wise thing to do, but you want to make sure that it's safe and make sure that it's not going to cause any problems, further problems with the person or further damage the person, because there are some people that have been hurt that they rather you not have anything to do with them, or they rather not have anything to do with you anymore. So you have to decide for that. Only you know what happened between you and that person. And if you know it's somebody that you think owe you an apology and they haven't, please do not approach them. You want to try to work on forgiving them so that a lot of bitterness can come out of your heart, become released from your heart, and it will help calm your mind down further. So as you're thinking about that person, maybe you can begin to pray for them. Now, we want to do is you want to get out another piece of paper, because this is going to be your mission statement, where it's all about you and what you would like to work on within your own life. It is what is in my heart that I need to work on. The question is, what is in my heart that I need to work on? How do I want to grow as a person? What things do I need to let go of in my life so that I can move on with my life? What is it in my heart that I need to work on? How do I want to grow as a person? What things do I need to let go of in my life so that I can move on with my life? And you want to make sure that you're honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself, the tools I'm giving you won't work. And you can hang up the mission statement as you begin designing your mission statement. For example, I've written down, I am a person whom love myself. Therefore, I will start creating everlasting peace in my life by using more self-control in my eating habits, having better control of my anger, and reducing the amount of stress in my life. That's just something I've written because most of the people who've come through encouragement services have told me that when they created their mission statement, maybe they had a problem with anger. I put things in there that I thought different people were working on, but if you don't have that, you can write your own little statement of why you're creating a mission statement, and you can even put goals on it at the end of it if that's what you like to do. For those of you who'd like to use our mission statement here, you're certainly welcome to email us or call us or fax us, and we will send the information out to you with whatever address or email or fax number you give to us, and we'll send it. We'll make a copy of it and send it to you. So also, what you want to do, you want to begin creating, in order to create more peace in your life, you have to be able to create emotional healing, and that is create emotional healing by what I told you, but you also want to begin to create emotional boundaries. In other words, for example, if you have someone in your family that you know that is very negative, then you obviously know that you cannot be around them a whole lot. Now, if you live with this person, because there are some sisters and brothers living together that are grown for whatever reason, and if you have someone that's very negative, you may just want to decide, in order for me to create an emotional boundary in my life, I'm not going to allow this person to push me this far. I know how they are. I know how they behave. I know how they act, and I know what they're gonna say is gonna get me very angry and upset. So I choose, before I talk to them or see them or have to be around them, to already forgive them, to already forgive myself if I lose my temper, and I just choose to be positive around them for my mental and emotional growth. And you would be surprised how it will get easier after about 15 or 20 days to do that, and you'll begin to see that that person no longer has control over you like that, because you want to set up your own emotional boundaries, because we cannot get away from everybody like we ought to. And it's easier at work to go to work and maybe work with that person, but when you're having to live with that person or be around that family member or whomever it may be, you have to set your own emotional boundaries like that, versus an emotional boundary at work where I know this person is like this and I'm just going to stay away but respect them. It's totally different when they're living with you. And as you're trying to work on your social growth, you want to learn maybe a new physical activity so that you can begin to grow more socially. Sometimes it's easier to grow more socially when you choose to take up something perhaps that you always want to take up. Or it could just be maybe just meditating in your home. You'd be surprised how just that can become a social growth for you. When you see people, you'll be much calmer, much peaceful, and it can really change your life and your mindset and your heart. You want to learn to walk in peace you can listen to some smooth music for about 30 minutes a day for a week, or by meditating, by closing your eyes for 10 minutes a day and imagining that you are in a favorite spot like a beach. You can tell yourself that you love yourself. You just want to think of little bitty things. You don't have to do long hours of meditation if you're not used to it. Just laying down or sitting down, breathing can help. Or if you could get the stretch bands, buy your stretch band at a store somewhere. Online, a good place I go is Amazon.com, and just stretch your hand, sometimes sitting at the desk or around the house for a good 5 or 10 minutes. That's very creative. That helps, and it also releases a lot of stress in one's life. So that is how you want to begin to create more peace for yourself, and you will see as you begin to create more positive space in your life and your heart. Also, you're creating it for your heart, for yourself. You will find that your heart will become more open to forgiving, and you'll also be able to let go of some resentment, some bitterness and anger will go out of your heart. You will see that your heart and thought life is changing on a daily basis, but it takes a while to get there because you have to apply it. It might take some people 30 days to see results. Some people, maybe who have real huge outbursts or anger, may see that they're improving in 3 days, but if you don't continue to do that and work on it as a process for the rest of your life, it won't really help, because you're trying to use tools to help create peace and calmness in your life. And you'll also as you continue to do this, you'll begin to see you have a much cleaner heart inwardly, which just simply means You'll be more open to people, more respectful to people. You'll be able to be more of a proactive person than a reactive person. It'll be much easier to love people. It'll be much easier to love yourself. And if you're not ready to forgive at this time someone who's hurt you, that's okay. You just want to consider, maybe if you have a problem with anger or bitterness, to better manage that for your own emotional and mental health, or to try to manage forgiving yourself, because you want to think about the good things that you are improving on in your life. And as you begin to forgive yourself and you release yourself to love you and walk in peace with you, you'll begin to see that it might be easier for you to let go of some things that someone has done to you, because you'll see that it's not holding them back, that it's in fact holding you back and preventing you from having a close relationship with yourself, with your children, with whomever it is that you are having close contact with, friends, whomever it may be. So that is the end of our title today for creating peace around you. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. For those who don't know, we're on Blog Talk as well. So if you'd like to go to blogtalkradio.com/encourage good news. That is blogtalkradio.com, encourage good news. You can listen to some wonderful, encouraging podcasts there as well. And again, if you would like to call us, our international number is 1-866-524-4828, extension 2836 for the services department. You can also email us or visit our website at encouragementinthetrauma.org. Our email address is services@encouragementinthetrauma.org, encouragementinthetrauma.org. Thank you for your post and for following us, and we do read your emails. Thank you for the emails and those of you who signed up for encouragement. We're working on your information. Please remember to complete your intake forms, because there's an intake process of 6 pages before we can sign you up for free encouragement services. And it takes 20 to 30 business days once you turn that in to us for us to complete your information and give it back out to you. So that's why some of you will be starting in May and June on encouragement services, and you can sign up either for the emails or the letters or the phone calls or all 3, just depending on what you'd like. If you haven't had a chance, please like us on Facebook. If you view us on Facebook and you like what you see, that address is facebook.com/encouragement services. Also, for more information about us on Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/encouragement services/info. We want to say thank you so much. It's been wonderful encouraging you along the way and seeing people grow who have been using our services to grow mentally and emotionally and to get a balance back within their life. I also want to let you know that we're on Twitter at twitter.com/encourageserve. However, we only usually have people who are certain businesses, certain organizations about encouraging with us. But if you have been working with us for quite some time, more than 1 month or 3 months, please let us know when you email us, and we'll see about having you follow us on Twitter. Have a great morning.